Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Elsie Coe, CEO and founder of Lead Physician, empowering physician to leadership positions that they thought they couldn't do before. And I'm so happy and grateful on this weekly interview to have Dr. Erica Howe. How are you, Erica?
Oh, I'm so good. How are you doing, Elsie? Thank you so much for having me. Clearly early in the morning.
We were giggling before. We're going to be giggling through this whole thing, which I love about Erica. So let me just introduce Erica. She is the founder of Women Physician Wellness Conference, which is about to start virtually, usually in the Cayman Islands. I have so much to ask her. She's a prolific speaker. She loves to talk about wellness. She's done this nationally and internationally. And some of the topics have included conflict management and boundary setting. So, Erica, thank you so much for being here. Can you tell us a little bit about why this conference came about and who should join this kind of conference right now?
Absolutely. So it's the Women Physicians Wellness Conference. So as you might imagine, it's for women physicians.
we're playing around. So here we go. Go ahead.
So it's really for women physicians, and it can be junior faculty, mid-career, senior faculty. It's really focusing on all the things that we deal with as we're coming out of our training, and sometimes even still in our training, that are struggles for us, that are things that we aren't taught, strategies, skills along the way. We're taught clinical medicine and we're really good at practicing patient care, but when we come out, we're not so great at some of those other issues or leadership development that comes up. So really trying to figure out, how do we promote ourselves? How do we manage conflicts or negotiate for better pay? How do we set boundaries? How do we say no better in a way that still leaves the door open for future opportunities? Lots of conversations around that. And then certainly things around burnout and wellness as well. And I think they all relate back.
I love that, Erica. How did you come up with the speakers? I know, how many speakers, first of all, do you have? Because it's not just you speaking. I know you're speaking at it.
Yeah.
And
I start each day off with just a kind of a conversation around that day's theme. So we have 3 themes for the 3-day event. The first one is internal work. So kind of the stuff that we need to do as far as changing some of our thought distortions and the way we approach what we're thinking about ourselves, and imposter syndrome, et cetera, et cetera. The second day is external work. Creating boundaries out there, changing your environment so that other people understand that, you're there for them, but maybe that you're not there all the time, and that you have, a personal life as well. So it's about contract negotiation. It's about getting to the next level, as you speak about, Dr. Coe, and really, what got us here won't get us there. That's the title of your.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the third day is actually financial work. So we really don't, I think, often think about how our finances relate back to burnout. But for me personally, that was a huge portion of my burnout, was feeling like my debt was overwhelming and that I had to show up each day to do the work just to get the paycheck. And I had sort of lost sight of the mission and the joy in serving others and in patient care, because I was so focused on this debt. So we talk about some financial work and then a few more self-care items beyond medicine in the third day. But honestly, I started it. It's so funny. I tell this story, I think, every year in Grand Cayman when we're at WPW, when it's live, when it's in person. But when I was, I had 3 kids in the span of 6 years, and I remember, one night kind of packing up my stuff and having a ton of mom guilt, realizing that I was late to go pick up my kids from daycare, like again, right? And I had a colleague who was walking past my office, and he said, like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm great. How are you?" And he said, "Great." And he walked on, and that's fine. And I remember thinking, but I'm not great. Like, I'm not even fine. I'm so fried, and I'm so tired of putting on this facade that I think is what I'm supposed to be like as a physician. The calm under pressure, the always have it together, and I didn't have any of it together, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know how to raise kids and manage a full-time career. So I remember riding the elevator down, and I was deciding to myself, as I'm walking as I'm going to go to the parking garage, I'm next person I see that asks me how I'm doing, I'm not going to say I'm fine. I am tired. I'm just being honest.
I hear you. Yeah.
But it's so funny. Like, so I got off the elevator, and God bless her.
Because we as physicians are so meant to always think in that way. Like we're always taking care of someone else, not really ourselves. So
right.
Totally. I agree with you.
I got off the elevator, and I ran into, as fate would have it, a lovely other woman physician who asked me how I was doing. She didn't know what she was getting into there. And I just told her, I was like, pick up the kids. We don't have any food in the house. I don't know what I'm going to do for dinner. I just don't know how I'm going to even get through tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And she said 2 really powerful words to me. She said, yeah, me too. And that, I tell this story, and I swear like tears come to my eyes every time I tell it, because it was so powerful to me to
admit
someone else is going through this. Me sharing the challenges I was having helped me, just to be able to share that with somebody else, have a community, have somebody else to lean on a little bit. And to, beyond the Me Too, she also then, as we were walking to the parking garage in 2 minutes, she's like, here is a strategy that I use. Here's something that has worked for me. And she shared with me something that was helpful.
Yep.
And I thought, you know what? We need more than a 2-minute walk to the parking garage together. And the more I did this, and the more that I ran into other women and I shared those challenges, the more we realized we've all got great ways and strategies and skills that we've figured out along the way, that it would be so powerful if we actually had a protected space and time where we could share those with each other.
Okay.
But we don't, because we're busy clinicians, and we've got, busy family lives, and we're charting at night and all the things. And so I thought, and this is my Achilles heel, is I think everything's easier to do than it is. I thought, I could probably plan a CME conference.
Oh, so this is CME, right?
So I thought, I've planned a wedding, and I know how to put together a large event. I know some great other women speakers, because I've spoken nationally and internationally. So I know who I could reach out to. And how hard could it be? It's harder than that. But that's kind of how it all started. And I just reached out.
You had a vision and you ran with it.
Yeah.
Is this more than what you expected? And how tell everyone what the Cayman Island experience is like. I'm kind of down that we're not going to go to the Cayman Islands.
I feel like I shouldn't, because none of us can go right now.
And the fact that you pivoted, a lot of people, successful people are during this time, and you made this virtual, I think is phenomenal. And I appreciate that so much. Tell everyone, what was that like, going to the Cayman Islands, and what do people expect in the future when you do that again? So
we try to make it a combination of a lot of learning and skill development and leadership development, but also a time for you to come and meet other women physicians. I don't like to use the word network, because I really don't think that it's about that. It's about connecting with other women. So this is kind of more informal in that sense. But there are obviously powerful relationships that are built along the way. Right. When you come in, you register the night before. I do try to make it span part of a week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I do that actually on purpose for you, because I know that most of us do not use all of our paid time off. We don't use our vacation days. So I want you to show up, come to the conference, and then take some vacation time to decompress and to reflect and rest and recharge. So each day it's all morning. So it's 8 a.m. until about noontime. And then your afternoons are free to go explore the island, go sit on the beach, take a nap. You have my permission to take a nap. And I will tell you, one of the things that is really powerful, I think, for a lot of the women, is they think, oh gosh, it's only a half day. We've heard some feedback, not necessarily from the women themselves, but from leadership, saying, oh, it's not a full day conference, but we do provide CME for it. And a lot of the women say that there was so much packed into those 4 hours that I actually needed that time in the afternoon and the evening to kind of reflect on that and okay, how am I going to apply some of those strategies I just learned to my real life? And a lot of the women take those strategies that we're talking about in the conference, and in the afternoons, I've heard this over and over again, they send that email they've been meaning to send. They've set up that meeting that they needed to set up. to take their careers to the next level. So there's a lot of actual application of the skills and a work that's done in the afternoons to then apply the knowledge. Because I don't know about you, but I used to go to these leadership conferences and they were fantastic, but they were like 14 hours long. And at the end of the day, I just wanted my head to hit a pillow.
Right.
And I would get back on the plane at the end of those 3 or 4 days, and I would think there's so much I learned. My head is swirling, and yet, I got to go back to work, like I'm getting on the plane and I'm heading over to the hospital, or, I'm going home to see my family, and the next day I'm headed to the hospital, and I haven't had any time to apply everything I've learned. And then ultimately what happens is it kind of falls by the wayside, and 2 or 3 months later, you think about it again and you try to start to apply it and you don't remember things as well. And you're trying to look through your notes and such. So I really wanted there to be a dedicated time for learning, and then a dedicated time for you to reflect on that learning and apply those skills. Now, I'll tell you, there's another aspect to this that I actually think is really important, and that's the connection with the other women. So when you show up, you get a name badge, and on the back of your name badge, it actually assigns you a table for each day, and you're going to move. You're not going to, even though you may have registered with girlfriends, you're not going to necessarily sit with them during those 3 days.
Yep.
And I always get a little bit of pushback in the beginning, like, oh, we have assigned seating. But that's one of the things that actually I've heard the most feedback after the conference that everybody loves, because if they hadn't kind of been pushed into that, they wouldn't have met some new interesting women and heard some different viewpoints along the way from women in other parts of the country, other specialties. Mm-hmm. And that honestly creates a huge bond amongst these women over the next year until we get to the next conference. I see it, in our Facebook group all the time. I'm seeing these women that I know are not in the same part of the country or the same specialty, and they're talking back and forth on our Facebook group. And, I might reach out to them and be like, how do you guys know each other? It's like, oh, the conference, we were at the same table on day 2. And, so.
That's fantastic.
Well, that's really
I look forward to participating in the future. Thank you so much for putting this together. Let's just talk about what are the days and how much does it cost? How do people sign up?
So right now it's virtual, as you know, because, pandemic times. So tough transition, honestly, because I think we all wanted to put our toes in the sand this February. But because it's virtual, honestly, there's a lot of benefit to that right now. I was able to invite more speakers, and we kind of changed things up. So no PowerPoints. Well, okay, I do a little bit of PowerPointing in the beginning of each day, just because I want to share with you some of the data around what I'm talking about. But beyond that, these are just conversations. And, I'm really interviewing women physician leaders who are experts in what they're talking about in whatever their field is. And it's a lot of kind of leadership development and professional development. So it's 3 days, and most of the sessions are recorded. But in the morning, we have a mind-body workout with Ali Novitsky. In the evening, we have live panel discussions for an hour with all the speakers from that day. So you can watch those sessions that are pre-recorded for you. But then in the evening, you can come in, and if you have a question for a speaker, you can ask it, and we'll actually have a conversation.
Love that. And
then after that, we do a meditation. So lots of, kind of cool things for each of those 3 days live. Excellent. Now, beyond that, though, I know we are busy physicians, especially in the midst of a pandemic. So I know not everybody's going to have that time off. Mm-hmm. So make sure that you can access all the material, everything that's recorded, and we're going to record everything we possibly can for 30 days afterwards. So if you want to go back and watch again, if you missed something, if you just weren't able to access it during those 3 days, no big deal. That's totally fine. You get to decide what it looks like for you for your learning. So, and it's $300 right now until January 5th. And then the price goes up to $350 thereafter. So now is the time to register.
Excellent.
Get the early bird registration.
So for them to sign up, it's best just to go to the website?
Yeah. So womenphysicianswellness.com. Easiest way to do it. There's a link there to the virtual summit, and it'll take you over to that page, and then you can register from there. And it has all the information as well. So it gives specifics about what the schedule is for each day. So who you're going to hear from. We have 22 incredible women physician speakers. I give 3 sessions, and then we have 22 other interviews that are really, fantastic. At Elsie alone, we should say, in interviewing Elsie, we went for, I think, an hour. It was supposed to be a half an hour, I swear.
Sorry.
When 2 like minds come together and connect, it was, you just were giving so much incredible
Well,
wisdom.
you made it comfortable for me, and I felt like we were just having a conversation alone in our own room.
Totally, exactly. And that's what all of these conversations were. I mean, but you were sharing so many powerful strategies that I was like, I can't. I mean, I think I interrupted you at like, 45 minutes, and I said, I'm sorry, we've been going for 45 minutes, but I still have more questions.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun. Thank you so much, Erica. How can people reach you if they wanted to? Can they have your email, or should I
Sure,
not use that?
absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's Howe at themedicaleducator.com.
Okay.
So you can reach out directly to me if you have any questions about the conference, for sure. And then we also have a closed Facebook group. So you have to be a woman and you have to be a physician. But beyond that, anybody is welcome. And so that's just WPW Conference on Facebook. You can search under groups and you'll find it. And then we have an Instagram account too, also WPW Conference. So you can follow us there and kind of see everything that's going on.
I look forward to that. Thank you so much.
Oh, and I should say, we do have a mailing list too. So if you want to share your email on the womenphysicianswellness.com website, you can, that is a great way to hear updates about the conference. And then, if anyone's interested in speaking, we put calls for speakers through our email list. And so, yeah.
Great. Thank you so much for being on with us today on actually 3 social media lives at the same time. So please sign up now. Even if you can't attend during those days, you're going to be able to listen to this afterwards for 30 days. And I think this is a great way to introduce yourself to wellness topics and success topics that you might not have heard before. So thank you so much, Dr. Howe, for putting this together for all of us. Again, if you're a woman or a physician who has a story to tell, please reach out to me at info@drlcco.com. We love hearing from you. We want to spread the word of how physicians can become better leaders in this country and live a better life without the burnout. I hope you guys have a wonderful, happy new year and stay healthy, safe. And please see us again every Sunday. If you want to hear more of these content, please like or comment below. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Erica. Have a great Sunday.
Thanks, Elsie. I appreciate it.
Take care.